Hey guys, I'm Travis Dusek from Custom Products. Website's www.customproducts.us if you want to check it out. What we're going to do today, we're going to run through the Custom Products CP Air tank reg with you, show you how to rebuild it, show you how easy it is to maintain, show you how to switch it from high pressure to low pressure. You can do all those things by simply disassembling the regulator. All of the Custom Products come with a lifetime warranty, so if you ever have a problem with a burst disc, with a fill valve, with the top of your regulator, anything on the internals, everything's covered under our lifetime warranty. So that's one thing that no other company's offering. So again, you'll never have to buy a burst disc, never have to buy a fill valve, never have to buy a gauge. All that stuff's covered under our warranty. So let's go ahead and get started here with the tank reg. So take it over to our little tech area here. What you're going to do is you're going to grab your 3/32 wrench as the first step, and they've got two set screws, one on either side of the top of the regulator here, right there, and then again right there. So what we want to do is we want to use our 3/32 wrench, and we want to take both of those set screws out of there. Now after those are off, you have your lock ring here. On your lock ring, if your lock ring is silver, that means you have a high pressure regulator. If that lock ring on the top right there is black, then you have a low pressure regulator. The output on the high pressure regulator is 850 PSI, and the output on the low pressure regulator is 450 PSI. So after that, you want to get your 15/16 six-sided wrench. We've got a fixture here that'll hold the reg steady for us, so use that. And then you want to take this top off. You want to loosen that ring, make it so it catches on the front of the thread. So what you've done here is you've created a gap at the top there. So after it catches on those rings, you're still going to use that same ring, and you're going to use that to remove the entire top of the regulator. Alright, so after the top of the reg's off, now what you want to do is turn the whole thing upside down and pull it off. Then what you do, this is actually your piston. The spring that is actually your pin valve. So on this piston here, you see you've got these springs. These are called Bellevue springs. If you ever see a coiled spring, that's not nearly as accurate as a stack of Bellevue springs. So there's 12 actual springs on here. Each of those discs is a spring. A lot of people think that those are shims. What a shim does is creates a gap. So that doesn't actually have any spring properties. This is actually a patented spring that we buy from a company called Bellevue, and they own a patent on that. It's the best spring combination that you can use for any high pressure regulator application. So you've got your piston there. Again, the piston you see is, let me get these springs off here. The piston you see is silver. If the piston is silver, that means again you have a high pressure regulator. If it's black, you have the low pressure. So the piston will always match the color of the ring. There's no performance difference in the ring. The performance difference is in the actual piston itself. So you've got your piston, and then if you look down in here, you've actually got a brass piece. That's your seat floor. So you want to go ahead and just bang that out on a counter. You want to make sure your countertop's a wood, or like we have a towel here on a metal countertop. It won't come out. Then you got to get your pick in there and pull it out from the bottom. Now you have your brass floor. This has two O-rings on it. One on the inside there and one on the outside there, and then a little bit farther in there you actually have your reg seat. So this is the entire reg seat in here. So every time you rebuild this, you want to replace your seat, you want to replace both of the O-rings here that are on this piece, and you want to replace your O-ring that's on your piston as well. So after you've done that, you want to lube it with Dow 55 lube. So show you guys, we'll just put a little lube on here, a little lube on there. And one thing, whenever you're lubing O-rings, all you want to do is, there's always a gap in between the O-ring and the side of the metal. You just want to fill that gap with lube, and that's really all you're trying to do. And I'll show you, it's really easy to show you on this piston here. You can see now how there's a little bit of a gap at the top of the O-ring right there. So whenever you get your lube, you just want to get a little out, you want to put it on there, and then run your finger along the side of it. And what we've done there is filled the gap on either side of that O-ring. So you still see the O-ring, but you filled the gap in between the metal and the O-ring. That way you make sure you have enough lube on there to keep it lubed. After that, you want to put your spring stack on there. It's going to be hard to see on the video, but if you go online and download the reg manual, you can show the springs, actually the outside edge will either be down or the inside edge will be down, because these are kind of cone shaped. So the first one on your reg stack, you want to start with the outside edge being down against the regulator, so it sits flat against the edge. You shouldn't see a gap in between the spring and there. Then you want to just alternate. So the next one, the inside edge is down, outside edge is down. Like I said, you'll do that with all 12 springs. So eventually the top spring will be up, almost like a bowl shape. Now the spring stack's very important that you get that right. It's really important to take a little bit of time and make sure that you have them right. You should have them alternating, like I said, one up, one down, one up, one down. The bottom one should be down and the last one should be up like a bowl, and there's a total of 12 of them there. So now you've got your spring stack on. You want to drop your seat in. Again, some of this stuff's hard to see, but if you go online, there's a manual online, but you have a white seat here, and then you just have a base area there. So what you want to do, you want to make sure that you drop the white area of the seat down, and that's going to fit down in your regulator just like that. Then after that, you get your seat floor. You push that in until it snaps in. So that should snap in. And then your spring stack with your piston, and you push that in, and that'll actually stay seated right in there. After that, you've got your top and your spring. So put your spring down in your top. You put a little blue Loctite on here. So we just have it on the counter here. We just roll it through, get a little blue Loctite on the edge there, and then drop this right in. Now you want to make sure that this goes all the way down, because what this does is this top actually holds that brass floor down in there. So you want to make sure you get that really tight. What we do is we get an ASA, and since your lock ring is all the way at the top here, you can use this to kind of lock down on that and really make sure you get a snug fit on there. After you get that snug down in there, you want to get your 2 set screws. Put your 2 set screws back in the sides. And then you can take your ASA top off without unscrewing the top, because you've got those set screws. The next thing you have to do, and the only thing left to do, is to drop this this lock ring back down on there. So again, we'll use our 15/16 6-sided wrench. Lock that down. Now a lot of people think that that's a way to get it to line up in your ASA, and that's not the case. This lock ring actually is what is another safety feature that holds everything together. So it's really important to get that really tight on your regulator. So then you've rebuilt your regulator. If you were changing from high pressure to low pressure, the only thing you do is switch out the piston. It's the exact same spring stack, it's the exact same seat, it's the exact same seat floor. So everything else is the same except for, like we said, that piston. The piston links change, and that's the same with the inline regulator also. A silver piston is the high pressure, and a black piston is the low pressure. I can also run you through real quick on how to rebuild the fill valve. And so we'll run through that real quick, because our fill valves are rebuildable, and like I said, they come with a lifetime warranty. So what you do is you got a 7/16 socket here. Oh, and that one's in there. Go to our fixture again to hold it in place for us. And our fill valves are actually 3 pieces. So after you've taken this out of here, you can see there's a little black set screw right there that has a hollow end. So the air actually goes through the center of the set screw to hold that piston in place. After that, you want to grab your Allen wrench, which we have here. So 1/8 Allen wrench. And you'll use that to take out that set screw. So you've got your set screw there, you've got your piston, and then you've got your fill valve body. So all you would do is change the O-ring on your piston right there, which is a 004 O-ring. Put a little bit of lube on there. This doesn't require much lube at all, guys. Just a very little bit. You have so much pressure behind this thing, it makes it really easy for it to seal. So drop that right down in there. And then get your set screw again with your 1/8 Allen wrench. And tighten this back in here. Now this set screw doesn't have to be very tight. Really all it does is keep the piston from falling out of the back of the body. So just hand tight's really fine. Put some Teflon tape on there. I'll save you guys some time and not put that in there. And then change this. Screw that back in. I will show you one thing. A lot of people complain about the slow fill rate of the CP tank, and we actually designed it that way. All of our systems are 100% filtered. Basically, if you put less dirt in your tank, you put less dirt in your gun, your solenoids, all your gun parts are going to work a lot longer. So we've got the filter actually sits right underneath the fill valve there, and then you've got an O-ring on top there, which creates a gap. So if you ever wanted to take your filter out, look, which we don't necessarily recommend, but it's not entirely a bad thing either. It just creates more service issues. So if you ever wanted to take your filter out, that would be the filter that you'd be removing. So you screw your fill valve back in, tighten it up, again with your 7/16. There you go, guys. In just a couple of minutes, we've completely serviced and rebuilt our CP air system. So if you guys have any questions, always refer back to the website. Again, it's www.customproducts.us. And I'm Travis Dusek. I appreciate you spending some time with me.